I'm the influencer who convinced you to buy a bracelet that one time, Andre Cordova.
Oh, that's so cringy and tacky.
It's actually true.
Oh, you are.
That's why I said it.
That's why you said it.
And this is?
I'm Jordan. I'm the aged old queen bestowing my knowledge upon the youth of today.
Yes. And this is? Sabotage.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome. So, we'll be discussing fate, the butterfly effect, things like that. It is crazy to think about that kind of stuff. Some people would say, oh, it's divine intervention. You've got angels protecting you. Yeah.
I've never been that person.
Yeah. I can't say that that's what I believe in, but I can't discount it either.
Yeah. It's really funny because I've never been that, ordained, predestination, everything happens for a reason. I've never been that thing.
No.
The universe is a giant chaotic ocean and life is just us trying to stay in the boat.
Yes, exactly. And honestly, the whole everything happens for a reason concept, I used to believe in that. Fuck knows why. It was honestly...
It sounds really weird.
I know, especially when you know what I've been through. I always had to find the silver lining in things in order to get by. That's how you survive. But the concept of everything happening for a reason, well into my teenage years, that was dying out because...
You got jaded, bitter.
Not even that. There was just no... You cannot justify being abused by everyone around you and being pushed to your limits so early in life, much less at all. It's like...
Yeah, I think that kind of way of thinking is coping mechanism.
Absolutely.
People want to, kind of soften the edges of a really shitty life.
You know what I hate though? When these days people will go, oh, well, if these things hadn't happened to you, you wouldn't be who you are today. Fuck right off. I despise that because firstly, you don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know because that timeline didn't happen. So I find that as a really shitty way of excusing the fact that my parents did reprehensible things, that they were abusive, that my exes, all these men that came into my life, it wasn't because of them that I turned out this way. It was because of me.
Yeah.
And that's what I will stand by. I was the one who was strong enough to get through it all without even realizing it, without knowing it myself, much less believing it myself. I'm the one who figured it out. I figured it the fuck out. I just cannot stand the idea of somebody sort of, in a way, taking that away.
Yeah. Taking away your agency in the matter, how you had no part in the person that you are today. It just was some esoteric force that dictates everything about our lives. That's absolute garbage.
Completely.
You sound like a burgeoning secular humanist.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm going to get you to Google it later.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. Again, I've never been one for, the future is written in stone. It's all going to happen.
No.
This way, whether you want it to or not.
I don't think... the whole thing about, whether we really have...
Free will. Or if everything's just... is preordained.
Yeah, preordained. Yeah. Written in the stars.
That's weird and gross. I don't...
Yeah, it seems so... Firstly, I mean, because if that were the case, then nothing matters.
Yeah, exactly.
Then who the fuck cares?
What's the point?
What is the point?
Also, I think a lot of anxiety comes from worrying about the future.
The unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that depression comes from the past, anxiety is about the future.
Mm.
And we need to live in the present because we are your gurus. No, I don't.
I am a guru.
You're a guru.
I am the wizard old witch in the cottage.
Yes. What does that make me?
I know, the stupid little kid that got lost in the woods.
Hansel and Gretel. Yeah.
You just ended up in my house. Yeah. I'm not going to eat you. Just going to get you really drunk.
Yeah. Oh, great time.
Yeah. It's awesome to dream, fantasize about. Oh, if only this
you can't linger.
Yeah. Never linger on what could have been.
No.
That's an incredible waste of time.
And I had to go through that process again due to lockdown because...
Oh my God, lockdown.
Yeah, last year. Things, oh my God. As I've mentioned, diagnosed at the beginning of last year. And I was at the height of my mental health.
BPD.
Yeah.
Borderline personality.
My career was going so well, was performing and doing all this stuff. The way that lockdown interfered with that.
Interfered with your life.
I know it affected everybody. But I just mean from my personal experience, like the way that things changed so drastically and completely flipped, and my mental health had never been worse.
Yeah.
It had been a very long time since I'd felt that way as I did during lockdown. I did find myself asking repeatedly, like, what if that hadn't happened? You know, how different things would be. And definitely had to let go of that. Because it was such a detriment.
Can I say something really controversial? Listen, the pandemic was awful and it sucked and everyone went through a whole heap of shit. I loved it. I loved when my government told me that I wasn't allowed to leave the house or interact with other human beings.
And you could get some money for it.
That was like my dream.
Yeah.
I was like, have I woken up in some fantasy world? I think it was 10 months, 3 weeks. I went without interacting with another human being.
That is so
And the only time, the reason I had to interact with it was because I had to go see a doctor to get the vaccine. That's what broke the drought.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, they can't mail it. I can do it. I can just do it myself, can't I? And they were like, no, you have to go see a medical professional. I was like, well, fuck.
That's so funny.
But we're going to talk about this later.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I loved the lockdown.
Yeah, we have very different.
Yeah, because I'm a hermit.
Experiences with that. You are a
that
hermit.
Doesn't like socializing with people. I barely tolerate talking to you. But okay, I do
I'll
it.
Just fucking leave
Because that's how because I'm a human and people we're social creatures.
Yes, time spent wishing is time wasted.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said that.
I don't think you did.
I did say that.
Debatable.
Anyway, back to fate. Do you
regret?
Like everybody regrets things, but do you regret heavily? Like do you
I have a very strong sense of guilt.
Really?
Absolutely. If I've done something wrong, because I'm so self-aware, like I own up to it all the time. I'm very honest.
Yeah, this bitch can't lie to save her fucking life. She's the worst liar.
Because I wear my heart on my sleeve.
If I murdered someone and this bitch was involved in it, I'm fucked. Like they're gonna snatch me up, cart me away, and this bitch is just gonna get off with a warning or some shit because she's white. I'm never murdering anyone with you, just so we're clear.
A lot of it has to do with the borderline, though. Things that I did under the influence of borderline, especially, where it was like...
I thought you were going to say drugs, but you don't do drugs.
I've never done drugs. This is a different
how
topic.
are we friends? I don't understand how.
Yeah, you've been... He has stories. Fate. Well, there was... You don't feel regret, I suppose, so...
No, it's not that I don't feel regret.
Not feel regret.
I just don't waste time on regret.
Yeah.
As a rule, I'm a bit too pragmatic for that. I just don't want to waste time on things that I can't change.
Yeah.
And I know that's not... It's very easy and trite to say that. I think over the years, I've gotten really good at it.
I think as well, and I've mentioned this a few times when we've had our chats, but there is a very different dynamic when you do not have to deal with relationships and sex.
That's true.
Like being asexual,
only with my wife. A heterosexual wife.
People don't know what you're talking about.
No,
yet.
We're going to talk about that later.
Does it afford you certain
It does. I skipped... Well, I mean... So for those of you who aren't super familiar with BPD, and a lot of people aren't, and it still to this day is very...
They often confuse it with bipolar.
Yeah, and it's not.
It's not. It's more of a melting pot of bipolar,
a big part
ADHD.
of it is this impulsiveness and this promiscuity that's also linked
can I say
to BPD.
Real quick, I didn't find out until this year that promiscuity was part of borderline. I was like, I thought I was just a slut.
No, you are. Okay, so it's not the BPD, honey. You a hoe.
Yeah, okay.
You a hoe. You always been a hoe. You always going to be a hoe. Just come to terms with that.
But I didn't know.
And we can all get on with our day.
I didn't know it was part of it, though. And I've seen people say online, like, I thought we were keeping this a secret.
No, it's not a secret. I will expose all of them.
Because you're the asexual in the room.
Yeah, because I'm the asexual in the room and I haven't...
So continue.
Yeah. A huge part of the... Impulsivity is this promiscuity. And I haven't had to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I was diagnosed when I was 22, which
Much
was...
earlier, yeah.
5 years ago.
And he tells me that there's a camera.
No, it was like over a decade ago now.
Yeah.
Right now, I've learned how to cope and deal with those kind of things. Whereas you're still in that
I've only
beginning moments of trying to figure out experiments. And I'd love to give you advice, but this is one of those things where you have to figure it out on your own.
Mm. As soon as I saw a video, I don't know if you know Anthony Padilla.
Yes,
one of the OGs of YouTube.
Who that is? He was originally of Smosh.
Yes, and he does these videos like I spent a day with so-and-so. And one of them was I spent a day with people with borderline personality disorder.
I watched that.
And that, like watching that, hearing them describe it, I was like, this sounds familiar.
You saw it. You recognized it.
Yeah, I was like,
you saw the Matrix.
I was like, this is
me.
It
was all fitting into place.
Yeah, and so I looked into it more, and then I mentioned it to my GP, and then I spoke to a psychologist who then became my therapist, and was like, yeah, you have BPD, and I'm like, yeah, that checks out. That aligns with like fate, coincidence, butterfly effect, all of that stuff. I mean, our lives are a series of moments.
And our moments are not entirely under our control.
No.
You know, I'll tell you the story later, but the reason I got diagnosed is because I broke into my school.
I didn't even think to ask that.
Like a fit of impulsiveness that I
love that.
I'll tell you this. We'll bring that up later. But
under an episode titled Crime.
Yeah, crime. Crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've done some
I
crazy
wasn't
things.
charged. I was only 17. But
yeah.
We've covered all the bases.
Of
fate. Everything happens for a reason.
Triggered.
Trigger warning.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Destiny has drawn this episode
to a close.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
This has been
Sabotage. Sabotage you. Your entire fucking career.